Alright, here we go. Welcome back to the Game Smash Podcast. As always, I'm your host, William Liberty, and with me is...
Fawwaz Muhammad Yusuf.
And today we got some stuff. We got PlayStation games for October. We've got Battlefield 1 single-player trailer. We got Cyberpunk 2077 might have multiplayer. We've got and then finally, we've got Hearthstone balance changes. God damn it.
The 76ers.
And the what? Oh, yeah, that thing. Yeah, that thing. Okay, yeah, and we've got that thing that Fawwaz will talk to himself for a couple minutes. Do you want to get started with... Wait, let me... do you want to talk about what you played, or do you want me to start?
Wow, this is one smooth podcast. I'll get to what I played this week. So,
yeah.
So as I mentioned on the last podcast, Xcom 2 was coming out on Tuesday.
Yes.
So one would think that by this podcast, Xcom 2 would definitely be what I've been playing this week. But let me tell you a funny story, Tanner.
Oh, I always love a funny story.
Okay, so I think I don't know if I'd spoken about this on the podcast yet, but I think I spoke about this with you. That, I found out that XCOM 2 on the PS4 was going to cost full price, and it wasn't going to have any other DLC. So that didn't sit right with me, because that's a lot of bullshit. Like, I'm sorry, that's just bullshit, So anyway, eventually I decided that, okay, cool, whatever, I'll still buy it. So I went to the store and I was like, you guys have XCOM 2? And they were like, yeah, sure. And then I'm like, oh, do you guys have the deluxe edition? And they're like, what? And then dude looks through the system and the deluxe edition doesn't even exist. So I go online and I check, and it turns out two things. And this was the first thing is that the deluxe edition is a digital.
It's a digital deluxe edition. I mean, that doesn't really surprise me, but yeah, keep going.
Yeah, so the only way I can buy the game with all the DLC at once is if I bought the game digital. And as I've said multiple times on this podcast, I don't buy digital anymore. Then I discovered that on the PC, XCOM 2 is currently $40. And that was just it, man. I was just like, you know what? I'm tired of being treated like a second-class citizen. You guys can eat shit,
Fawwaz.
I'm not paying full price for that game. And more importantly,
you know what's funny? You know what's funny though? If this game had come out on console in February, you would have paid full price for the game.
Yeah, exactly. But it didn't. So I won't. I mean, at the end of the day, it is the principle, right? Like, yes, if this, because it's like, okay, first of all, one other game that I'm gonna get to a little later in the pod. Okay, Darkest Dungeon comes out on the PS4 the same day, right?
Exactly.
And it has extra stuff, because that's what you're supposed to do when you re-release a game for a different console, like a couple months later. You add extra incentive for the people who own that console to pick it up, and maybe for the people who've already bought the game to double dip, right?
Yeah.
When Divinity came to consoles, they made it the enhanced edition, and they added more content, right? These fools aren't even adding the content that already exists. No, like, they're not adding any extra content at all. There's no mod support, which is fine. No extra content, no mod support. But then on top of that, they're like, oh yeah, but you guys should also pay extra for the DLC. The reinforcement pack costs $26 right now on PSN. $26 for the quote-unquote season pass to a game that came out in February. Like, are you actually kidding me? And then you now make it. Oh my God! Like, I was so mad. I was so unbelievably upset. I was like, you know what? Whatever. Like, at the end of the day, I was having doubts about buying this game because I didn't really want to spend money at this time of the year anyway. So it's like, fine, you guys can keep your XCOM 2, and because part of the thing was I wanted to support this game so that if XCOM 3 comes out, they have more incentive to release it on consoles. But I don't even care right now. I don't even care. Like, there's only so much of your bullshit I can take. First of all, you release it much later on this console and everything else. But I'm like, fine, whatever. So long as it comes, I don't care. It comes, and then you're giving me an inferior version. First, and this isn't even getting into the fact that the game itself runs like shit on the PS. Okay, runs like shit is a strong word. The game itself
Yeah,
doesn't
I
even
heard.
run
I
that
honestly, I was checking the. I was excuse me. I was checking the Reddit forums, and most people say that it's mostly the loading times that is
well.
the
Yeah.
problem. That the loading times are pretty long. But I've been hearing conflicting reports. Some people say that it doesn't run as smoothly. Other people are saying that it runs perfectly fine on their console. So it's like,
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, there's going to be hiccups because it originally wasn't even designed to be on this console. And
Yeah, well, they can keep. They should have kept it on the PC because you
but
see,
like, what
don't
do
don't
you
give me a
want?
half-ass port.
What do
No,
you
seriously,
want?
I know.
Like,
Like
okay,
at the
but
end of
it's
the day,
like,
I
okay,
would rather not have it on the
I,
PS4 at all than to
okay,
get a half-ass
I
port.
do
Like my
I understand where you're coming from, where this anger is coming from. Where like, why can't I have all the DLC included at a cheaper price? Why can't this have come out sooner? Like, I can understand your frustration, but it's like you were complaining for the longest time, like, because this game became a PC exclusive. I wept. I was saddened. I felt so much loss. And then it gets released on the consoles, and now you're like, no, I'm not gonna buy this game. So I'm like, well, what could they have possibly done?
what could they have done? Not give it like that's that not all the stuff I just listed. That's what they could have done. Like I mean, like seriously, at the end of the day, man, like sure. It's don't half-ass anything. Don't if you're going to do something, do it correctly, do it properly. And are you kidding? If straight up, right?
Mm-hmm.
Straight up. If I'm going to buy this game, I'm looking at spending close to $120. Does that make any sense for something that came out 7 months ago? Like
No,
what?
I understand that, but I'm also like, you are putting that 170. What did you say? $120 price tag
110,
on yourself.
Yeah, let's be specific. $110 plus tax is what I'm looking at paying for this game.
And
that
I'm
came out
but I'm
February.
also like, you do realize, and this is someone who played the game without the DLC for like 4 months and had a fantastic time. Like, it's because you're putting that, I have to get the DLC. And I'm the one.
See, like for me, it's okay. Let me give you another example, right?
Okay.
Skyrim is coming out, is getting re-released on consoles, right?
Okay.
It's going to be full price when it re-releases on consoles.
Right.
People are upset that it's going to be full price when it re-releases on consoles because people should be upset that they're charging full price for a 5-year-old game. Like at the end of the day, sure, when Skyrim came out 5 years ago, it came out at full price and everyone paid full price for it, right?
Right.
But this isn't 5 years ago, and this isn't 7 months ago. To give you an even better example, The Witcher 3 came out in August. Game of the Year edition, all the DLC for $40. Mm-hmm. It's at the end of the day, if you do you cannot. That's just bad. That's just bad form. You can't it's yes. Like if the DLC didn't exist, right? And they were like, we're just gonna release the game. I mean, here's the thing, even if the DLC didn't exist and they released the game 7 months later for full price, I'd still be like, what the hell, guys? But whatever. I just want. For me, it's not just one thing. It's thing after thing after thing after thing, and I'm just like, you know what? Whatever, man. Whatever. I'm done. I'm done making excuses for companies that I've done because I mean, at the end of the day, these guys aren't doing me a favor, right? Sure, I love Xcom. I absolutely love that game. But this should just go to show you that it doesn't matter how much I love a video game. At the end of the day, it's still a video game, man. I'm going to wake up tomorrow and I'm still going to be alive, even though I didn't play Well, God willing, I'm still going to be alive, even though I didn't play XCOM. So it's like I'm not going to put up with this shit. What in the actual hell? Seriously. Okay, you're saying that, it doesn't matter that much. And if it doesn't matter that much, then why the hell didn't they just include the DLC to begin with?
Because, okay, well, my question is okay, well, when you're talking about, for example, you were talking about the Skyrim game, Skyrim Remastered is coming with the DLC. You know?
Yeah, that's coming with the
Okay,
DLC.
there's just a couple things. There's a couple things. I'll say the first thing. One, Skyrim Remaster is coming with the DLC, right? But Skyrim also came out in 2011. So, yeah, I can understand, yes, the DLC should definitely be in that game, because it's actually a pretty friggin' old game at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Now, my only thing is that in the case of XCOM 2, and why you're fighting so badly for the DLC, is that I'm like, not all the DLC is really that good. And I would argue that you would be enjoyed the game more without some of the DLC. So I'm just your fight over, man, I'm so butthurt over not having access to this DLC. Because let's say from my perspective, if let's say I didn't have a good enough PC and I had to buy this game now, I would buy the full game, and then I would buy the Spark DLC, because the Spark DLC is actually pretty good. I would avoid the Hunters because it's horribly unbalanced without mods, and then I would be fine with that.
And you know what would happen is that in that situation you would pay less than I'm going to pay if I just buy the playing game.
But
because the game is $40 right now on PC and the Spark DLC is $15. So you'd be paying $55 plus tax. I'd be paying $80 plus tax for XCOM 2, pure, right? And then to stick to your analogy, right? What about The Witcher 3? The Witcher 3, sure, The Witcher 3 is a little older than XCOM 2, like 6-7 months, like let's say 6 months, right? It's 6 months older than XCOM 2. The Witcher 3, they re-released it in August with everything in it. Mm-hmm. For me, like I said, man, I don't even care about the DLC. For me, it's the principle. It's the principle that just pisses me off, because it's like that. Okay, first of all, you delay, you give it to us later, right?
Yeah.
It's and then on top of that, you're not even like it's so ridiculous, because I can't remember a couple podcasts like a long time ago. I was talking about, oh yeah, it's coming, and I just assumed that the DLC was going to be on there because it made absolutely no sense for it not to be. I'm probably going to buy this game anyway, right? Eventually,
yeah,
like 3 years down the line.
Realistically, like, there's gonna be a sale for the game. It's gonna be like, it will be like $50-$40, and then you're just gonna buy it without DLC.
Yeah.
You're gonna have a fun time.
Yeah, and I'm 100% sure I'm going to buy it sometime down the line. But I am not paying full price for this game ever. Period. Like, I'm not. I'm just gonna sit here and wait for it to go on sale, and wait for it to go on sale on top of that. And when it's like $20, I'll pick it up. If it never gets that low, then I'm just never gonna buy it. It really is that simple. Just buy Titanfall 2 in October. But yeah, man, XCOM 2, whoop, came out on the PS4.
Did you play anything else this week, or?
Sorry?
Did you play anything else, or?
Well, no, I was considering getting Darkest Dungeon, and I wanted to get your opinion on that, actually, because I looked up some reviews for the game, and they're all like amazing. It got like a 10 out of 10.
I really like Darkest Dungeon, but it is fucking hard. Like, it is a really, really it is a really good indie game, and you would probably have a lot of fun with it. Just bear in mind, it's like going in, you know how it's like going into an XCOM game on hard mode Iron Man immediately.
Oh shit.
Like, from the get-go, because there is no save states. So you can't just save your game and save scum it, which is part of the reason why I fell off playing it, because I couldn't save scum it to victory.
I was gonna say, did you ever finish this game?
No, I didn't finish it. The game beat me into a pulp.
Oh my god. Because what I was gonna ask was that there was one review that I saw that kind of deterred me from buying it. And in the review, he was talking about how the game is really random. Like Orange, it is like that the game is really, really random. And I saw that and I was like,
well, I wouldn't say I can understand where that guy's coming from, but I don't really think it's random. It's more like you have to kind of you have to put you have to strategically think, okay, if this happens, how will I react?
Okay.
I wouldn't say that it's random, because there's certain little predictions you can make. The randomness comes from the sanity meter, in which your characters lose sanity over time while they're in these dark ass dungeons, and their sanity gets tested if the meter gets to a certain point. And what can
Okay.
happen is that either they get resolved and they basically fight over losing their own sanity, become courageous, or like power. They basically get more. They fight off the urges of losing their mind and they become more powerful, or
Yeah.
they succumb to their own insanity and they get massive debuffs.
Damn.
So what it does is that there's this whole level of because one of the mechanics you can do is that any dungeon that you're in, you can retreat. You can just,
Okay.
nope, I'm done. I'm going to grab my shit and go. And you will not have succeeded in completing that dungeon, so you're not going to get all the rewards. But I do know, like, there's certain strategies in the game. There is actually one strategy in which you start out with a dream team, right?
Yeah.
But what you need to do is you need to start making money. So what you do is that you start sending out your suicide squad, which is basically your squad of like regular newbies and new recruits on a sole purpose to simply go into a dungeon. Don't even try and get as much experience. Simply just try and grab as much stuff you can get, and then throw them to the curb. And I know that that's one strategy to get farther in the game. I just never got that far. But honestly, if like it's a hard ass game, but it is cheaper, and I think it is really freaking cool. And that narrator is the best. Oh man,
Okay.
that narrator is the best.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so funny story. When we were talking about how hard the game was, I was like, this game can't be that hard. Kind of beats it. And then you're like, oh, actually, I did it. And I'm like, oh shit, maybe this game is pretty difficult.
I mean, if I could save Scum, I could have forced my way to beat that game. Like, I probably could have, but the fact that I can't save Scum, and I've made it very clear, I'm a save Scum. I'm a dirty save scumming cheater. Like, I'm aware of that. But it's like, it makes the game more fun for me. And if I don't,
at the end of the day,
yeah.
that's what it's all
yeah,
about.
and I mean, like, if I don't mind having that option taken away from me, but I'm not gonna have as much fun if I don't have the ability to do that from time to time. I don't know, but I think you would probably enjoy it fine.
Yeah, I mean, I tease you about it, but at the end of the day, like, I don't actually like think less of you because okay, maybe I think a little less.
Like, don't try. You don't have to lie to the audience, Fawwaz. It's okay. We're all friends here.
But yeah. So what did you play? Wow, that's quite
yeah,
a long.
No, don't worry. This is gonna be a good one. This is a good podcast. Well, I mostly didn't really play a whole lot new. Played some Overwatch. I did do something interesting though. While I was playing, competitive second season and getting, competitive points and staying in plat, all that fun stuff, I finally got a skin for Roadhog, right?
Hey.
And I was like, I played Roadhog once and I didn't like him. And I was like, maybe it's time to give Roadhog a second chance, And I don't know if he just went through some very subtle changes, but during this patch, I really enjoy him. But I think that also might be due to the fact that I finally understand that he does have some range in which you can use the gun as a shotgun, but if you hit the L2 trigger, it shoots a more concentrated, farther range shot. So you can get a little bit of range if they're running away from you like jerks. So yeah, then I just started playing a ton of games with Roadhog, and I was just having a blast because I just love his hook. His hook is so good. Like the hook is devastating as far as like CC goes.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, Roadhog's one of those characters that I feel like he's feast or famine. If you're hitting your hooks, he's so much fun. Like, he's so much fun. Every single time you hit a hook and you just delete a character, it's one of the best feelings in the game. Because, I mean, ever since the McCree nerf, Roadhog is the only character that can one-shot people consistently, right? But then if you're missing your hooks and you're getting, like, picked off by tracers and Reapers and all that stuff, then he can be kind of irritating and frustrating. But he's I usually play him when I'm solo queuing, when I'm playing with potatoes and my teammates refuse to pick healers or tanks, then I'm like, okay, cool, you guys all want to go DPS? Right, I'll go DPS. I can heal myself and I have 600 HP. Y'all can eat shit. Sorry. Sorry, this game is making me a bad person.
Honestly, the thing about this patch, and I fought you about this, is that I am getting really, really sick and tired of godlike Mei players. Christ. You say that Mei is the worst champion, the worst hero in the game, and I can understand where you're coming from.
Well, no. Keep in mind, just as a quick digression, I said Mei was the worst hero.
Okay. So now you see where I'm coming from.
Well, I mean, no, because we argued about this before she got patched.
Well, I mean, like, nowadays, I feel like every time a Mei player shows up, it's like, oh god, this is my personal hell. Because
what are you afraid of? Just hook her and kill her.
Well, I had a game where I would hook, and what she was
just
doing...
hook her, wait for her to ice block, and then kill her.
Yeah, but no, she wasn't. It wasn't just her ice block. It was the ice cube. So what would happen is I would hook her, and then she would do the ice cube. I'd wait, and then her teammates would show up, and then it would be hard. And then I'd be like, okay, just a couple more seconds. I can get you in the head. You'll be dead. And then she throws the ice wall up, and I'm like, fuck. But yeah, no, just yeah, that's pretty much what I played this week. I played a bunch of competitive Overwatch, and that's pretty much it. Yeah.
Okay.
Do you want to
get into? I'm actually thinking about learning a couple new heroes for Overwatch. Anna and Genji specifically, because I've been playing a lot of. I've been playing a lot of Zarya and a lot of Zen. I think I'm actually a very good Zarya at this point.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
I think I'm a decent Zen. So, but I realized that I don't have any DPS that I'm good at. You know, so I'm gonna try and learn Genji, to see if I can. Yeah, I'm gonna try and learn Genji. Yeah.
I mean, like. It kind of, I kind of to give you some bad news though. I would say this is kind of a bad time to learn Genji because he did get nerf batted pretty hard.
I mean, it's not that hard.
I mean,
the only thing that got nerfed that I will notice is the fact that his ultimate is 6 seconds instead of 8. The triple jump nerf, I literally didn't even know that existed. And then the dashing over like Junkrat traps. Well, why are you dashing over Junkrat traps to begin with? Yeah. Then the combo nerf. Okay, the combo nerf kind of sucked because I had been practicing the combo. Yeah. But it's like, okay, cool. I just do like secondary fire melee instead of secondary fire melee dash.
Yeah.
But I'm still gonna learn it. I think he's still fine. I think he's still perfectly fine. So yeah, I'm definitely gonna learn him. But hey, you know, we actually have some news to get.
Yeah, we actually got some news. So PlayStation.
So yeah, first things first. We got the PlayStation Plus games for October, and it's not bad actually.
Yeah.
It's pretty good. So we got Resident Evil for PS4. I didn't even know this game existed, but it's like a remake of the original Resident Evil.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks cool. You know, updated graphics, all that stuff. Then we got Transformers Devastation. This is an interesting one because this is like a Platinum game. This is like a Platinum Games B team. It's not Bayonetta, but at the same time, it's not Korra or Ninja Turtles. So that should be cool. We also got a couple of other games, but I don't really know any of them. Mad Riders for the PS3, From Dust. From Dust sounds familiar, but I don't care enough to look it up. Code Realize is a visual novel for the Vita, and then Actual Sunlight. I feel like we've gotten to that point where they've just given us so many free games on the PS3 that there's just nothing left.
Yeah. I think I know exactly.
Yeah, it definitely feels like they're scraping the bottom. Sorry?
No, I was just saying, I feel like you're totally right. Where it's like so many games have been free for the PS3 at this point that it's like now there's not much left, you know. So I'm really excited to play Resident Evil. I think it's going to be really, really cool because I have never played the first Resident Evil before, and I've heard a lot of great things. Because this is a port of the GameCube remake for the PS4 and Xbox One and whatnot. So I'm still really excited though. I think it's going to be really, really cool, and I might give this Transformers game a chance and see if I enjoy it. Obviously, I'm not a big character action guy, but do like Transformers. So, but yeah, overall, I think this month has been pretty good for Sony as far as the list of games they've been giving us. It's better than Microsoft's in general.
Oh yes. Mm-hmm. Oh, yes. Yeah.
But do you want to get into our next piece of news?
What are they called? Dice, yeah. Dice released a trailer for the Battlefield 1 single player, and it looks amazing. I can't even deny. I still think Infinite Warfare is going to outsell it, but yeah. So they also released some details about the campaign. So it's going to be an anthology type of campaign. It's going to be 5 mini campaigns that take place across the globe.
Yeah.
Each so the 5 of them are they released the names and a brief description. So Friends in High Places puts you in the cockpit of a British fighter plane against Germans aces on the Western Front. Nothing is Written will take you to the deserts of the Middle East where you fight alongside Lawrence of Arabia.
Yeah.
Through Mud and Blood follows a dysfunctional Mark V tank crew. In Avanti, I can't pronounce that. You'll fight in Arditi, an Italian mountaineer regiment looking to break through a deadlocked fight in the Alps.
Yep.
And finally, the runner will put you behind the eyes of an Anzac runner as you deliver life or death messages across the front lines during a naval invasion of the Ottoman homeland. Now, this is a really, really good idea, I think. And if done properly, and this is the key, I think this will make a very, very good single-player campaign. However, DICE have yet to, in my opinion, make a good single-player campaign for any of their Battlefield games. So I am not holding my breath here. But so far, so good. Hats off to them.
Yeah, like the thing that they're doing properly is they what they're doing properly is that they're properly setting it up so that there's multiple characters, so we're not following from one perspective. The other thing that they're doing I like is that, like, remember in Call of Duty, you probably never played Call of Duty 1, but in Call of Duty 1 they did do something similar to this where you were following multiple characters. So you were following people, you were following Russians in the beginning of the game, then you followed a French sniper, then you were following like a British demolitions team, and you got to stay with them for a couple missions, then you moved on to someone else. So I actually really, really like that because you got to see a lot of different perspectives of the war. So that's why I'm kind of excited for this, because it looks kind of similar. And obviously the reason why I'm excited about this is because they can use that style, but obviously bring it up to date with today's graphics and fidelity and stuff like that. It's going to make for a really, really cool game.
Yeah.
I mean, like honestly, the thing is that the reason why I have more hope for this single player, one, the trailer was done really, really well, right? It was just executed and edited really, really well. Music was great. But the other thing that makes me more excited for this game is just the fact that they're not trying to copy Modern Warfare, you know?
Yeah.
They're not trying to make their modern story, you know? And it's like, and I found that when they did that, because Battlefield 3 was the one where it's like, you guys are just copying Modern Warfare now, and you don't want to do that. You want to try and do something different so that we're not, we're obviously going to compare you, but trying to be like Modern Warfare is like not helping you. Being different than Modern Warfare would be better. So,
yeah.
It's honestly, I have high hopes for this game. I don't know if I'm going to pick it up myself, but obviously because you and I have that bet going on, I'm really hoping that the single player is good, because that might mean more sales.
But shit, I hate when this happens. Crap, I completely lost what I was going to. Oh yeah, what I was going to say is that I completely agree with you. Trying to be, because okay, here's the thing is that, you know, the people that want to buy a Call of Duty-like game are going to buy Call of Duty. You know, I don't think that's a really, really ridiculous thing to say. So you do you. You know, no one can do you better than you. So they should just focus on being the best kind of Battlefield that they can be, and let the chips fall. You know.
Yeah. And honestly, I'm really excited for this game either way. It seems like a very good return to form. So I'm excited for sure. But next on our list, we've got a pretty interesting topic. Cyberpunk 2077 might have multiplayer. So there was an article that came out that was talking about a sort of like it seemed like a Sorry?
The grant.
A grant, essentially. Essentially enclosed stuff like city creation, animation excellence, cinematic feel, and seamless multiplayer for the upcoming game Cyberpunk 2077, which is being the guys who made Witcher 3, which we've talked about obviously a lot on this podcast.
Yeah.
But it does beg an interesting question. Like, what would a CD Projekt Red game that its most famous title is known as being a really well-crafted single-player game, what kind of multiplayer experience could they bring? Because that would be very interesting.
Yeah, one thing to note, though, is that they applied for the grants, but they did not specifically apply for the grants for Cyberpunk 2077. So yeah, they just applied for grants for various technologies, city creation, animation excellence, cinematic feel, and seamless multiplayer. Now, that's not to say that this confirms or denies that Cyberpunk 2077 is going to have multiplayer. That's just something to take in mind. Is that they applied for these grants. They acknowledge this too. Because PC Gamer contacted the Robert Malinowski, and he replied, "We did apply. I can confirm that. Yes. However, we wouldn't like to elaborate beyond what's already there." We can respect that, Robert. But yeah. So this could just be the seamless multiplayer could apply to something else that you're working on. I mean, it's a pity they've already announced the Gwent standalone game, because that would be something that we could throw that on.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
I'm really curious to see where this is going to go, because like the idea of multiplayer in Cyberpunk 2077 never even crossed my mind.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the one thing that I think of when I'm thinking, okay, maybe this game will have multiplayer, is that maybe this will have the next evolution of Gwent in it.
I knew you were going to say that.
Am I really that obvious?
Okay, you know what I want? If they're going to have a card game like Gwent, I don't want them to change the name. I just want I want the world to literally call, there's this new sick game. It's called Cyber Gwent.
Oh my god.
I want it to be really stupid if they're going to do that. Like...
and then, like this time they'll actually balance it around the idea of having multiplayer, and then you can play online multiplayer. You're walking through this like dark, cyberpunk world, and then you walk into a cyber cafe and you sit down and you start playing Gwent online.
Yeah. Oh, wouldn't it be? Yeah, I either want it to be like something stupid like Cyber Gwent, or like literally it's just where you can play the free-to-play Gwent game in Cyberpunk 2077. Oh my god, wouldn't that be amazing?
That would be pretty amazing.
That would be ridiculous.
And that would be some cross-promotion there.
Oh, Christ.
Oh my god.
It's like 2 games for the price of 1.
2 games for the price of 1. Yeah, but yeah, so this is some interesting stuff. I'm really curious to see where this is going to go. But, like Cyberpunk 2077, only God knows how far along they actually are in this game's development, because we haven't heard anything in, 4 years.
Yeah, now. They literally, I think it was, 4 months ago, they said, all right, now we're in full swing development of 2077. It's like, seriously, guys? Why did you release that trailer? You were nowhere near close to being finished anything at that point.
Now, in their defense,
it was a pretty badass trailer.
Well, yes, that. But not just that. In their defense, what I think happened is that they released the trailer and then they realized, oh shit, The Witcher 3 isn't as far along as we thought. Right?
Okay.
So we can't commit as much. We can't commit as much to this game as we'd like. Okay, let's put some more people on The Witcher 3 and put Cyberpunk 2077 on the back burner. Now, to be fair, right, just because we haven't heard a lot about Cyberpunk in the past 4 years doesn't mean they haven't been working on it. If they come out at E3 next year, because at this point I'm almost 100% sure it's going to be at E3 next year.
Yeah.
If they come out at E3 next year and they're like, Cyberpunk 2077 is coming out in the fall of 2017, I wouldn't even be surprised. Because it's, like I said, just because they haven't shown us anything in 4 years doesn't mean they haven't been working on it. In fact, I'm pretty certain they've been working on it this whole time. You know, like they just haven't had the whole team working on it, because some of them have been working on Gwent, some of them have been working on DLC for The Witcher 3, and some of them are working on, finishing The Witcher 3.
Yeah,
but I don't think them, because they finished The Witcher. When did The Witcher 3 come out? Actually, I need to look this up.
Witcher 3 came out last year, 2015.
Did it really?
Yeah,
it feels a lot longer than 2015.
I think it was relatively early 2015.
Yeah, May 19th, 2015. So The Witcher 3 came out in May of 2015, right? So from that point, for the past year and 4 months, the main team, I don't believe the main team has been working just on Gwent or on The Witcher 3 DLC. The main team has been working on Cyberpunk 2077. I feel very confident in saying that. So then, you toss in the fact that, not all the stuff is out. Not all the stuff is out. They're shifting to the next gear and stuff. So I feel very confident that this game isn't as far off as we think.
Yeah, I think I could see it probably getting a 2017 release, but I don't know. I think most likely we're gonna see it
2018.
Probably 2018. But honestly, regardless of if this game does have single player or multiplayer, I'm just excited because it looks really, really cool. And
in all the gameplay that you've seen?
Well, all the amazing amounts of gameplay. But what I mean is,
I know it.
Well, what I mean is more the aesthetic, and obviously because I really like Deus Ex, I really like Cyberpunk. It's something that I always like seeing when games pull off Cyberpunk really, really well. And since they were able to pull off The Witcher really well, it makes me really excited for what they can bring to the table for this game.
Oh yeah.
Speaking of other seamlessly multiplayer games, so Hearthstone. Our good friend Hearthstone.
Okay, so now I'm gonna roll up my sleeves.
You know what? This seems like this would be your topic. So I'll hand it off to you.
The brilliant minds at Blizzard decided that it was time to nerf the bullshit in Hearthstone. And so they're releasing a patch. I don't know if the patch is out yet or if the patch is coming out, but they listed the details of the patch. A bunch of cards are getting nerfed. We'll start from the top. So Rockbiter weapon is getting nerfed. I think this is a big mistake. I'm just throwing that out there because I feel like Rockbiter weapon was not the problem. Doomhammer was, so them nerfing Rockbiter just seems a little silly to me, but you know what, whatever, it's 2 mana now. Tuskar Totemic is getting nerfed. It no longer it can only summon basic totems. It can't, because before it could summon any totem, so a lot of times you play this card, and I mean a lot of the time actually, you play this card and you get like a totem golem, which is just bullshit. So now you can only summon basic totems. Call of the Wild is going to be 9 mana now, which is what a lot of people said it should be from the start. Execute is going to be 2 mana now. This one came out of nowhere.
I don't know how to feel about Execute costing 2, because I really don't think it should be.
I mean, it's still going to be played. It's still a really strong card. But I never felt that it was too overpowered, but I guess they did. It costs 2 mana now. Charge is getting completely reworked. It costs 1 mana now. And it give a friendly minion charge, no +2 attack, and it can't attack heroes the turn that you give it. Sorry, I'm just burping.
Yeah.
It can't attack heroes the turn that you give it charge. Abusive Sergeant, another card I didn't expect to get nerfed. It went from a 1 mana 2/1 to a 1 mana 1/1. I think it's still gonna see play. Now, the big one, Young Sharon, Hope's End. I love how they start this post. Let me just read this quote for you guys. This is the most controversial card we've ever made. No shit. Some people love Yogg and others hate it. We felt like seeing Yogg in tournaments was not where we originally hoped it would end. Yogg should be for players who want to have a lot of fun, but maybe not the card you see frequently in high-level tournaments. Yogg is relatively weak in power level for nearly every class at every level. What game is this guy playing? But it's slightly above average. This guy is full of shit in 2 decks, Temple Mage and Token Druid. we didn't want to nerf it so much that it couldn't still be a fun card for players who currently love Yogg.
Like me.
Yogg Sharon will now stop casting spells if Yogg Sharon's battle cry, if during Yogg Sharon's battle cry it is destroyed, silenced, transformed, or returned to its owner's hand. We tried a bunch of things, and we think this is a significant enough nerf that it could reduce the amount it gets seen, especially in tournaments, while still maintaining the dream for people who love the card. In addition to the above changes, we will be addressing the bug where cards, whatever, that doesn't actually matter. So, honestly, all the other stuff in this post doesn't even matter to me. Yogg Sharon. Yogg Sharon is literally a card that made me stop playing Hearthstone. Now, to be fair, I started losing interest when they nerfed Handlock. And I'm probably never going to go back to playing it consistently until they unnerf Handlock, which they're never going to do. So, there's your answer there. But yeah, like I think this nerf is rubbish. This nerf doesn't. Okay, see, I understand where Blizzard are coming from with this, even if I don't agree. Okay. There are some cards that are random, but quote unquote fun. Like there's that one stupid Warlock card that you play it and it changes your class, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that card is completely random. And if that card ever became a tournament level card, then you would have to patch that card because it's 100% random. There's absolutely no skill involved. But you know, I get what I mean. Like my friend was talking to me yesterday, and he was like, "Yeah, he just makes a deck with that card in it, and he just goes on ladder and he plays and he has fun." And I'm like, "Okay, cool. I can see what people mean by some of the randomness being fun, right?"
Yeah.
And Yogg Sharon, if Yogg Sharon wasn't so powerful, then I can definitely see how he would be fun. Not for me, because I know, but I can see how he'd be fun for some people. You know,
like me.
You're playing a random deck with a bunch of rubbish spells, like a lock and load deck or something like that. And then you know you make it to turn 10, you play Yogg Sharon, a bunch of funny stuff happens, and then you lose, but you know you're having fun. But the card is still too. But right now, I think we can all agree that the card is too strong. It's too consistent for how random it is, and it requires it wins games with no skill whatsoever. So they decided to change it so that it's if it destroys itself but it's like for me, I'm like this doesn't fix the fundamental flaw with this card. You know?
Yeah, I think it fixes some things, and I think
it's objectively a worse card.
Personally, I was actually pretty happy with this nerf because it compromises at least a bit where it's like, all right, I will actively admit, as someone who actually does like Yogg Sharon, I think completely agree that yes, Yogg Sharon's ability should stop if it gets destroyed, if it gets silenced, if it gets transformed, or if it gets returned to its owner's hand. Because the fact that shit would just keep going regardless to what happens to Yogg Sharon, I think is a little too ridiculous. So I actually was pretty fine with this compromise. But yeah, I do see where it's like people who they just hate the principle of Yogg Sharon, they're like, this doesn't really change anything.
Yeah, because for me, at the end of the day, there will still be those games where my opponent is losing, he plays Yogg Sharon, hits me with 3 Pyroblasts to the face, and I lose. Now, maybe not that specifically, but you get what I mean. So for me, I'm just like, that possibility still exists. That possibility should not exist in a game that wants to be taken seriously competitively. So yeah, I don't think this changes much. It changes something, obviously.
I would say I think you're underestimating it a little bit. Like it does change a lot because I would argue
underestimated Yogg Sharon.
Sorry?
I said it wouldn't be the first time I underestimated Yogg Sharon. So
yeah. Well, like personally, I think honestly, this does increase the likelihood of Yogg Sharon not working out, by a good margin. Because there's a lot of times where, usually the first spell, destroy target creature. Oh, okay, I destroyed Yogg Sharon. Alright, whatever. A bunch of other stuff's gonna happen. So, now that that can actually happen, and it's like, oh, I killed Yogg Sharon, now nothing happens. So I think it's nice that at the very least the percentage of Yogg Sharon not working out is increased by a good amount.
Oh yeah.
But for some, I don't know, if we're really angry about Yogg Sharon, I think the card should just be banned from professional play.
a lot of tournaments. Not a lot. I'm exaggerating. But this one player, Firebad, he had a tournament recently where he banned Yogg Sharon. Straight up, he was just like, let's have a tournament with no Yogg. And but for me, I've never liked the idea of ban lists because I don't like the idea of players balancing the game, you know? Because he was like that, okay, people should vote for 5 cards that they want to see banned. And he was like, vote for cards that you want to see banned, and the top 5 will be banned from the tournament. Yogg was number 1, like hands down. Tuskar Totemic was number 2, but Fiery War Axe was number 3. And I'm like, that right there is salt. Because Fiery War Axe is a really, 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 really strong card, but it's not over. Like, it's not ban worthy. Like, we've had Fiery War Axe in the game forever, and like Warrior was bad even when Fiery War Axe existed, right? So you see what I mean about ban list, right? Is that when you start banning cards, then it's like, some people are banning cards because they're just salty about the cards, whereas in this case, I feel like it should be Blizzard's job if they want this game to be taken seriously, competitively. And this brings me to my point, right?
Yeah.
Is that I feel like the team that works on Hearthstone don't know what they want. Like, you look at the Overwatch team, right? And sure, Overwatch has its imbalances, but from day one, their intention was to make a competitive first-person shooter, right?
Yeah.
I feel like the Hearthstone team, they're trying to juggle two audiences, right? They want to appease to the audience that likes seeing random shit happen and finds that shit funny, but then they also want to appeal to like the competitive people, and I'm like, you can't have both. And well, apparently you can't, because the game is really successful. But like, I feel like that lack of direction is what has resulted in this entire catastrophe with Yogg Sharon. Because like listen to them, they're like that. They created this card without the intention of it being good. Like, you look at continuing with the Overwatch example, every single hero, I mean, they've only made one, and she's one of the strongest heroes in the game, but every single hero that they make, I feel confident in saying that every hero they make down the line, they make them with the intention of them being competitively viable. Yeah. But this right here proves, without a doubt, that not every card that the Hearthstone developers make, they make it with the intention of it being good, right? And that's just... I feel like they have to make it. I feel like at some point they're gonna have to make a decision. What do they want Hearthstone to be? Do they want it to be a competitive game, or do they want it to be a meme game? And just focus on that. Because when you try to appease both parties, you'll end up pissing off both and end up with nothing. So that's how I feel about this. But that's a bit of a digression. Mm-hmm. This is a step in the right direction. Yeah, them trying to reduce the randomness, but they've done this before. They've, like they when they rotated out GVG, they rotated out all they added way too much randomness in GVG, rotated it out, cut down on the randomness with Explorers League, and then added even more randomness with Whispers of the Old God. So for all I know, this could just be an aberration, and then with the next expansion that they release, they add a card that just randomly wins you the game. If you draw this card, it's just...
Yeah.
It just randomly picks someone, flip a coin, and then whoever wins that coin toss wins the game. Yogg Sharon is one of the worst design cards I've ever seen in a card game. And I played Magic the Gathering.
I have to point out that the funny thing about you talking about the coin flip thing is that they did kind of do that with Overwatch for a while.
And they took that shit out.
They took that shit out because everyone collectively went, "This is stupid," and there were so many videos of like, "All right, play the game," and it cuts to the coin flip.
Yeah, man. Yeah, and that's the other thing with the Overwatch team, right? Is that they listen. They don't like just bend with the wind. Like there's things that they've held to, but they do listen. Like it's like this isn't even me being naive or anything. The proof is in the pudding. People were like that we hate the coin flip, so then they were like, cool, they took out the coin flip, and now the new system with the time bank is actually a lot of fun. I haven't gotten into a game where the time bank actually mattered because usually I either like full hold or get full held. I've never played a game where both teams capped. But like
Yeah.
from a viewership point of view, it's a lot of fun to
Oh
watch.
yeah.
And I haven't heard any players complain about it, right? So did they actually listen? But like you have these potatoes here on the Hearthstone team, and they're just like all over the place. Like I mean, for God's sake, this card got released how long ago, and they're just patching it now. Ugh. Anyway,
Yeah.
I've exerted way too much energy. Like, I don't play this game anymore. I'm probably never going to go back to playing this game if I'm being completely honest. I just don't care anymore, and I'm just angry because like there's just so much of this bullshit. Like, Yorkshire Run was not the start, right? This started with Palette Shredders. Like, because the base version of the game had RNG, but it was never as bad as what's been coming since the expansions. You had like Knife Juggler, Ragnaros. Sure, every now and then you're going to play a Ragnaros when you have 8 health, and it'll miss 6 creatures on your board and hit you in the face, right?
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, you had 8 health, so your opponent has been doing something right that game.
Yeah, essentially, yeah.
But then they introduced Doctor Boom, they introduced Paladin Shredder, they introduced all these cards with completely uncontrollable RNG, and ever since GVG, it's just been getting worse and worse. Like, and then this expansion comes out and they hit us with literally the worst card I've ever seen in a card game ever. And keep in mind, like I said, I played Magic the Gathering. There was a card in Magic the Gathering called Platinum Angel. Do you know what the text on that card read?
What did it say?
You can't lose the game. That was the text on Platinum Angel.
Oh, yeah, I remember Platinum Angel. That was actually one of my favorite cards.
Of course you'd like that. You didn't really play this card and you can't lose.
Okay,
Now, obviously,
but you know what? Platinum Angel was kind of a really shitty card overall because it was like an 8 drop, and by the time you got to that point, and it was only like a 4/4 flyer.
Yeah.
So it could get killed off super easy, but I didn't care because I liked the artwork on the card, and I just liked the name Platinum Angel, so I had to have one, and I played it in all my decks because it's an artifact creature. Those are. Thank you for reminding me of that card. There's so many good memories I have about losing with that card, but not giving a shit.
Because I mean, like Platinum Angel, like this is literally a card that doesn't allow you to lose and doesn't allow your opponent to win. And somehow this card was more balanced than Yorkshire Run. That should show you how badly Blizzard dropped the ball. So now, while I'm ranting, let me just get into the question of the day, because the question of the day actually ties right into Hearthstone. The question of the day comes from Jason. Shout out to Jay
Yep,
Street.
shout out to Jay.
And it reads, what is the hardest part about quitting a free-to-play game that you've invested a large amount of time into? A large amount of time/money into.
Yeah.
And my answer to that is nothing at all. There is nothing hard about quitting a game once the game stops being fun. I don't care if I've invested $1,000 and 10,000 hours. The moment the game stops being fun, that's it. And look at Hearthstone. I dropped this game like a bad habit. Seriously. It just, I mean, granted, it didn't happen overnight. I'm being unfair here, right? But yeah, like this, the second I'm playing a game and I'm getting angry. And to be fair, like even when okay, here's the thing. Everyone gets salty. It doesn't matter what game you play. Salt is just a natural part of playing something that you care about, right?
Yeah.
Like I love Xcom. I probably love Xcom too, when I end up buying it. But you remember when we played XCOM at your house, and I had my dude behind full cover, like a full screen away from the enemy, and he gets one shot. I got mad. I'm still mad to this day thinking about that situation.
I'm so glad we recorded that. That was a great day for me.
So like salt. I mean, I'm not talking about salty. I'm talking about like actually getting because it happened and whatever, right? Like let's just keep moving on. But like with Hearthstone, the game just isn't fun because there's just too many of those situations. Like there was a day where I was winning and I wasn't even happy because I got like an amazing curve and then I rolled like double sixes on my what's that stupid card from GVG for the shaman called it was like deal between 3 and 6 damage. I forget what it's called.
Oh yeah, the Crackle.
Thank you. I rolled like double sixes on Crackle in like 3 straight games, and I'm like, this is bullshit. This is actual, and keep in mind I was winning. I was on a winning streak, and I was mad. That was when I started. That was like I stopped liking Hearthstone long before Yorkshire Run came out, right?
Okay.
It was GVG that killed Hearthstone for me. Like,
Freaking
and
insane.
it gradually built up, and then Yorkshire was the straw that broke the camel's back. But yeah, man, like for me,
Yeah.
easy peasy. Like I don't care how much money I put into a game.
Oh.
Once I stop enjoying the game, I stop playing it straight up. But yeah, what about you, Tanner?
Sorry, it sounded like you were gonna go on a little bit longer. Well, honestly, because I am not as passionate as Fawwaz is about these kind of things. Honestly, I do totally get it. And back to the question, what is the hardest part about quitting these free games that you put a lot of money and time into? Well, it's like any game. Any game you put a lot of time and effort and investment into, you're kind of part of you doesn't want to leave completely. And one thing I also tell, especially with free games, like I think of like League, for example. It's really difficult because it's with a game like League, it's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna leave. I'm just gonna not play it for a couple months, and then I will come back and I will be just as good. It's like, no, that's not gonna happen. You're gonna lose your ability to play the game. The game will have changed a lot. So because these free to play games, they keep updating and adding new stuff. You feel obligated, and you feel obligated to go back. Like, honestly, I'm not the biggest fan of League of Legends, but I still find myself going back because, one, I did spend a lot of money on stupid skins, and two, I kind of like playing it a bit just so I can keep myself at least somewhat up to date. But honestly, like, it's also the hardest part of quitting a free-to-play game is if you have friends who are still playing that game. It becomes a lot easier to quit a free-to-play game if you have no friends playing it with you and you're only playing with randoms. Because I've played some free-to-play games where it was only me. Like, just me, didn't know anyone else playing the game, no one shared an interest in it. So I was kind of like, alright, I'm done. You know? Like, that's an example of how a free-to-play game is really easy. But if you have friends, or not only if you spend a lot of money, but if you have friends who are continually playing and they keep inviting you, hey, come play a game of League with us, then you're going to feel obligated. So I think that's part of the thing, is that's why that was the main reason why I kept playing Hearthstone, was because Fawwaz at the time, this was like years ago, but at the time Fawwaz was like, oh, let's play some Hearthstone games or whatnot, you know? And, or like, you know, hey, you're playing Hearthstone, how are you doing or whatnot? Like, he would send me a message in the thing. So, like, yeah, honestly, I feel like having friends who play the game with you is part of the reason why it can be hard quitting free-to-play games.
Yeah, but yeah, I completely agree with that. And that's another thing that I wanted to add to, was that, like, my friends just stopped playing with me in Hearthstone. You know, everybody was so focused on trying to... Because, like, here's the thing, I never cared about ladder. Like... I never cared about ladder. Like, ladder just never appealed to me. Right. I used to, you know, I loved building decks and then challenging friends and playing with them. But everybody else wanted to play ladder, right? So then, you know, when I have no one else to play with, I'm like, okay, cool. All right, I'll start playing ladder too. And that was the first mistake right there.
Yeah.
So yeah, like the fact that that I didn't have any friends that I ever played with probably factored into why I just, you know, stopped caring. Yeah, because let's use Street Fighter 5 as an example, right?
This is Fawwaz's salty podcast.
Yeah, you know, all the salt. Oh my god, all the salt is on this podcast. So might as well add Street Fighter 5 to it. But let's just use Street Fighter 5 as an example.
Okay.
Say me and Jason actually used to play Street Fighter 5 and enjoy it. Through all the salt and all the flaws and everything Street Fighter 5 did wrong, I would have a hard time just being like, alright, I'm not playing this game anymore, right? But like, I just never had any friends who liked playing the game. I never had any friends who I played it with, and you know, like there was never that situation where I'll sign into PSN and I'll say, oh, who's online? And it's like, oh shit, Tanner's playing Street Fighter 5. Oh my god, Tanner, I really want to play this game right now, but sure, you're playing it, I'll play it, right? There was never that peer pressure. So that's part of the reason. You know, like using Xcom 2 as an example. Literally that same Tuesday after I came back and I was like, okay, I'm not buying this game. I signed in and my friend was online and he was playing Xcom 2 and I was like, oh my god. But yeah, you know, so that
I'm gonna give it a week. I'm gonna give it a week, and then you're gonna cave because he's gonna start sending you messages.
Oh my god. Oh, that's not fair. That's cheating.
Oh no, maybe I should add to this and say I'm gonna start sending you messages.
Oh my god, that's actually cheeky. But yeah. So that definitely factors in. However, we actually have a second question.
We have a second question from the wonderful Lobster Monk.
Yeah, from Lobster Monk. Oh yeah, by the way, thanks J Street. Awesome
Thank you,
question.
J Street. Awesome.
Fuck Hearthstone. If you could combine any AAA game and any indie game, which two would it be? What would its new name be, and why? Honestly, this is probably the first question of the day that I cannot answer because I've been racking. I felt like I was studying for a test with this shit, but I honestly can't come up with anything.
I've got two, so you want me to say mine?
You go.
Okay, so my first one, you're gonna say, Tanner, you're fucking crazy. But AAA game, Destiny.
Oh boy.
With No Man's Sky. You take those two, you get No Man's Destiny.
I like the name.
Name's pretty cool. But the reason why I think those two would actually weirdly work is because one of the things that always bummed me out about Destiny was it wasn't just some of the gameplay stuff and the lack of loot and stuff like that, but the fact that it's like you're saying you have this really big world, but you can only visit like 8 planets. You know? So imagine if, and then this is all fantasy game, right? So imagine if there was a Destiny game that was more around the quality of obviously like the Taken King, right? Where the game had a pretty interesting combat system, the loot was a lot better managed and whatnot, but there was a ton of planets, and each planet had a lot more cooler stuff, and you could fight monsters on it. But basically it's like if let's say you take the brand of Destiny, but then you give it a actual big universe to explore. Like I could see some potential with that.
Oh yeah. That's what people thought they were getting when they were buying Destiny.
You know what's funny is that a lot of people were saying like that. That's what a lot of people thought when they were thinking they were getting with Destiny. So that's why I'm kind of like, yeah. Imagine if you took that indie game No Man's Sky and you combined it with Destiny, then you would get what originally Destiny was supposed to be, So that's my first one. The other one that you kind of gave me a cool idea. Don't know if it exactly counts, but Helldivers and Warhammer 40K.
Oh, okay. How is this gonna work?
Put these two to just literally have the gameplay but the worlds and the lore and the races of Warhammer 40K. Because there's so much. And that type of game, like imagine if it's like instead of playing as humans, you could play as like drop in 3 Eldar. Like one of them sets themselves to be like a dire avenger, has a really good like shuriken cannon. The other one decides to be a ranger and can turn invisible for a couple seconds and stuff like that. And they just add all the little aspects of the races from the Warhammer 40K universe, but in a Helldivers kind of system. That would be really, really cool.
That would be pretty cool. I kind of like. Okay, you know what? I got an idea. You inspired me.
Okay.
So my combination is going to be Magicka.
Okay.
And The Witcher 3. So.
Okay, I could kind of see that.
So yeah. So take the spell system of Magicka. The combining spells and the combat system and all that fun stuff, and then combine it with the open world of The Witcher 3, the like decision making and all that good stuff. And then I don't know what the game would be called. I have no witty name. I literally came up with
Witcherka.
Witcherka. Yeah, there we go. Yeah. I think there you go. That's my answer.
That's also a really, really good question. Man, but it keeps making. Now I'm thinking like, man, I really want a really good Warhammer 40K game. I want another really, really good one that I could just sink my teeth into. Because there's so many like, as far as like Warhammer 40K games go, there's so many adequate ones. Like they're okay. They're like 7 out of 10, and I'm waiting for another Warhammer 40K game that comes out as like a 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. But I'm a huge fan of Warhammer, if anyone hasn't guessed. So, but anyway, great questions from both J Streets and Lobster Monk. And if you have a question, don't forget to leave it in the comment section. We'll make sure to answer it in the next podcast. So as always, was your host, Women Liberty, and...
Fawwaz Muhammad Yusuf.
See you guys next time.